Hey, Ed here from 10,000 Foot View, and I've got another Google Ads quick tip for you today. So just before I jump in, just a reminder to please subscribe to the channel. We do post new content at least once a week, so you don't want to miss out on that. In previous videos, I've already gone over using Google's countdown tool and also using location insertion. To round that out, I'm going to talk about the third text insertion tool, which is the most popular one, called keyword insertion. It's definitely a tool a lot of advertisers use, but sometimes it's not implemented correctly, and that can be a big problem. So today I'm just going to go through kind of how to implement that and what things you need to look out for when you're implementing. To add keyword insertion, you will just go to a headline or description, and you'll start by entering the curly open bracket, and then you'll select keyword insertion, and you get a dialog box. The first thing you'll have here is default text. This is not mandatory, but the intention here is to use something as a placeholder when a keyword cannot be inserted. And there can be different reasons for that. The main reason keywords won't be inserted is if the keyword is too long to fit within the number of characters allowed, which of course is 30 total for a headline and 90 total for a description. So in this case, we'll go ahead and we will add default text for Google partner. Okay. And next you have an option to choose the case, and there are three options. Title case will automatically capitalize the first letter of every element of your keyword. So if the keyword were actually like Google Partner Agency, let's say, it will capitalize Google Partner and Agency. Sentence case, on the other hand, will only capitalize the first word. So in this case, just Google, and partner and agency will be all lowercase. And then lowercase would use lowercase for all of your words. So Google, partner, and agency would all be lowercase. We at my agency, particularly in headlines, use title case almost exclusively. In descriptions, we do use title case a lot. We will use sentence case in instances um, where you have a lot of copy that really is formatted like a sentence. Where you have kind of more like bulleted features and benefits, we prefer title case. But different advertisers prefer one over the other. But I mean, the main thing is you want your keywords to um, use the same case as the rest of your copy. So in this case, we're going to choose title case. I'm going to go back to just using Google Partner, um, and I'm going to apply that. And so right now, if a keyword were to be inserted here, the only text that's going to show up is in fact that keyword, and that's not ideal, obviously. So we want to write some copy around the keyword. So we're going to assume that one keyword might be Google Partner. It could also be like Google Agency or PPC Agency or something like that. So we're going to keep it really simple, and we're going to say the best Google Partner, and then we're going to say in Toronto. And we can already see the value is too long. And so that is an issue, right? So not only do we want to ensure that we stay under 30 characters, but we also want to ensure that we don't use up so many characters in other um, ad copy that the keywords have no chance to be inserted. So if Google Partner is kind of like going to be your shortest keyword and it's already too long, then we definitely need to shorten this up. So in this case, we're just going to say the best Google Partner, right? And this is not great copy by any stretch of the imagination. Um, but I mean, just illustrates, what we're trying to accomplish here. We're saying something and then we're inserting the keyword as it makes sense. Um, we're going to pin this. We'll remove pinning from here. And here we go. The best Google Premier partner. So it's actually picking up keywords and inserting them here. And we may only have one keyword in this ad group right now because I use it to experiment with and to do these videos. It could be there's a bunch of keywords. It's just picking this one. So anyway, you can see how it's inserting that. And, we do have enough space here that it can fit Google Premier Partner. So some things just to keep in mind with keyword insertion is you always need to go through your keywords before you implement this and kind of assess, do you have a lot of long keywords? If so, should you continue to use them in this ad group? And if they're all long tail and they're just not going to typically fit, then keyword insertion just may not make sense. You also have to kind of look at each keyword and see how it's going to fit in with keyword insertion and will it make sense with your ad copy? Because if you're going to have even I'd say 10% of your keywords are really not going to make sense, you should either remove those keywords or just not use keyword insertion. So for that reason, sometimes it makes sense to have specific ad groups that are designed exclusively to work with your keyword insertion and then basically move all the other keywords into their own ad group. The other thing that I'll point out here that some advertisers don't understand is that is your keywords that get inserted, not the search query, right? So whatever search query triggers the keyword in your keywords list, it's the keyword that'll be inserted. So that's an important distinction that some advertisers aren't aware of. But that's basically how keyword insertion works. The idea is to increase the relevance of your ad so that you're exactly matching what the user is searching for. The problem, of course, is the query doesn't match the keyword necessarily, in particular as we now use a lot of broad match keywords as advertisers that, it's not going to line up precisely anymore in many cases with the keyword, but it's still increased the relevance to some degree. So it is still a very powerful tool. The other side benefit, and this is more for people that are nitpicky about ad strength, is when you add keyword insertion, Google usually does pretty significantly increase your ad strength. Now, in this case, I mean, I'm just not using enough headlines. I haven't really thought much about keyword insertion here. I don't have enough descriptions. So there's a lot of gaps because this is just a sample ad. But if I were to kind of button up those things, you'd see that adding the keyword insertion really does boost your ad strength quite a bit. Because essentially your ad is going to insert a keyword every time as long as they'll fit. Anyway, that's it for keyword insertion. It's pretty straightforward. It will tend to boost your click-through rates and your conversion rates, which also reduces your cost per click and your cost per conversion. So it is a really powerful tool. We do see a lot of agencies and advertisers don't use it enough. So it's definitely something we're thinking about. Anyway, that's it for today. Just a reminder to please subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, I will see you next time.